The Chargers are in a great situation right now. If they can nail free agency in the draft, after this offseason ends, they could insert themselves into the Super Bowl conversation, and they could be rivaling the Kansas City Chiefs for the AFC West title potentially. We saw what this team did last year with the salary cap constraints they had, having a roster that wasn't that good. They didn't have a lot of playmakers on offense. Their two best offensive players outside of Justin Herbert was J.K. Dobbins and rookie wideout Ladd McConkey. That was about it. But they did have a lead offensive line, and the defense was tremendously improved last year from what it ever looked under Brandon Staley. With what the Chargers did last season, it set the stage for them to perfectly position themselves to make that jump from being a wild card team to a Super Bowl contender year 2 under Jim Harbaugh. They are 7th going into free agency and available cap space. They got $65 million to spend. You can use that to go after any of the top receivers on the market, or you can further booster up your defense. Maybe you get a younger pass rusher like a Josh Sweat. That would be a really good signing by the Chargers. There are so many different directions that the Chargers can go in free agency to where no matter what, they shouldn't come out of the free agency period nowhere close to what they looked like last year. This should be a more superiorly talented team in every single aspect this year than what they were last season. Last season, they severely overachieved year 1 under Jim Harbaugh, and it wasn't a surprise. I say they overachieved due to the talent level of that team. When you looked at that team on paper, they didn't really look like a playoff team. You just gave them the benefit of a doubt that they were going to get there due to Jim Harbaugh's resume. He's won everywhere that he's been. He won and went to 3 straight conference championships his first 3 years coaching the San Francisco 49ers, Super Bowl included during that span. The guy just is a winner. He's a brainiac when it comes to assembling winning football teams. And if the Chargers can nail free agency and they nail the draft right, which there's no reason why they shouldn't get the draft right. They nailed the draft last year. They had one of the best draft classes in the NFL. They had several draft picks that got meaningful playoffs, that got meaningful snaps last year. They had 2 cornerbacks that were starters for them for a good stretch during the season as well. So with how well they drafted last year, there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to keep on getting their draft picks right this year. The Chargers right now perfectly have positioned themselves to take over the AFC West. This is the most vulnerable that the Chiefs dynasty has ever looked. We have questions at a lot of different positions about Kansas City. The offensive line is the biggest one. You're losing your best offensive lineman, Trey Smith. Are you going to be able to keep him? Or are you just going to have to let him walk and sign with somebody else in free agency? You have a bad offensive tackle situation, Jawan Taylor. You got to move on from him, but is it financially feasible for you to do it right now? Do you have to hold on to him for at least 1 more year? And what are you going to do to solve your left tackle situation? What are you going to do to make up for the loss of Travis Kelce? This is a great opportunity for the Chargers to really make a statement this offseason to show that Kansas City, we're at your neck now. You have some legitimate competition in this division, and no longer is going to be a cakewalk because we are just as good as what you are. We're ready to play now. You better be ready to play. And I truly believe that deep down, and Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes' heart, they know the Chargers are going to be a threat and the force to be reckoned with this season. That's why they know this offseason they have to approach it with a different level of urgency because they know Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers, they're close. They're on their ass. They're not too far away from being Super Bowl contenders, and all they need is to crush this offseason, and they'll be right there.